Well, it started a long time ago when there was a plan to build a new courthouse. Our chief judge at the time, Ed Philippine, had the idea that we should set aside some space to have some kind of a center for the public. And several lawyers in town worked with Judge Philippine on it. And so it was a group of lawyers and Judge Philippine who sat around and said, oh gee, this would be a good idea. After we moved to the building, we had the space reserved for the Judicial Learning Center, but we hadn't been able to get the center actually designed or figured out exactly what it was going to be. We didn't know if it was going to be historical displays or if it was going to be more what it is now, which was an educational center for students and others to come in and learn about the judiciary. The lawyers had formed a not-for-profit corporation called the Judicial Learning Center, Inc. And that was a corporation that was formed by the lawyers for the purpose of building the center and raising the money for it. The courts cannot be involved in any fundraising, so we were really doing two different things. Once we figured out that we wanted to have an educational center that would focus a lot on young people and people who didn't know much about the courts, then we spent several months meeting and trying to think of the things we would want to teach about. We worked with educators from around the state and with lawyers. We had a committee that met one summer frequently, and we came up with ideas for what we wanted to include. We had people from the Missouri Bar Education Committee, we had people from the St. Louis Public Schools, from the city, from the St. Louis Archdiocese schools, all of the people who do education for children and have an interest in this. But we wanted it also to appeal to adults. The educators had already told us that we needed to have a limited number of takeaway points. We couldn't explain the entire judiciary from top to bottom. It would just be too much. So we came up with four main takeaway points. What's the rule of law and why do we need independent judges? What's the difference between state and federal court? What happens in court? And then what is the Eighth Circuit? Well, I think the center's doing a fantastic job of doing exactly what we wanted, which is being a place where the public can come and where especially school groups on field trips can come. We have school children all the time. They start their tours in the Learning Center and then they tour the courthouse and might watch a court proceeding or meet with a judge or other people involved in the process. One of the problems we discovered early on was that many schools don't have the money for field trips anymore, and so they couldn't bring students to the Learning Center. And the not-for-profit organization, again, the lawyers who did this, came up with the idea of providing transportation grants. If people understand the government, then they understand why it's so important for them to go vote. We in the judiciary want people to understand how important it is for them to come to jury service. Jury duty is a very important duty and right that's established by our Constitution. If we inspire just a few children to not just be lawyers, but we talk to them about what our probation officers do. They often visit with the United States Marshals Service, different roles that they could have in the courts. We talk to them about what you do when you work in the clerk of court's office. There are many roles that people could play, and if we can inspire one or two kids to follow up on those things, it's a wonderful accomplishment. We want you to come visit the Learning Center. We hope everyone here will come visit the Learning Center. It's open during the business day, and you don't need to be on a tour. You can just walk in. Anyone who's here can walk in. We have jurors who go down and look at it. We have people who are here in the courthouse for other reasons go look at the Learning Center. And so I hope everyone here will come to the Learning Center and visit it anytime.